Good morning and welcome to Around the Globe on Aneke TV. First, the headlines. Trump's historic new tariffs are now in effect. U.S. President orders India tariff hike to 50%. EFCC boss denies forcing NNPCL boss to resign. Obi says Nigeria needs parties bigger than government. WAEC to restore results portal in 24 hours. Governor Soludo confirms Professor Omenuga as Ojukwu University Substantive VC. I am Aneke. Now, the news in detail. President Donald Trump of the United States of America has enacted a new wave of tariffs on dozens of the country's trading partners, marking a substantial escalation in ongoing trade tensions that could constitute the biggest change to the global economy in nearly a century. The historic new trade policy follows months of false start to Trump's so-called reciprocal tariff rollout and countless bilateral trade negotiations, a handful of which resulted in agreements that fended off even higher tariffs. Trump and his economic advisors have celebrated the considerably higher tariffs that have already gone into effect, correctly noting that they have raised more than $100 billion in tax revenue without leading to catastrophic inflation or recession, as some economists had feared. The president is moving forward with new, significantly more aggressive tariffs that economists fear could exacerbate budding economic problems, including rising inflation and slowing job growth that are just now becoming more apparent. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump has issued an executive order hitting India with an additional 25% tariff over its purchases of Russian oil. That will raise the total tariff on Indian imports to the United States to 50%, among the highest rates imposed by the U.S. The new rate will come into effect in 21 days. A response from India's foreign ministry made clear its stance on imports from Russia and reiterated that the tariff is unfair, unjustified, and unreasonable. The U.S. president had earlier warned he would raise levies, saying India doesn't care how many people in Ukraine are being killed by the Russian war machine. A British man, Mark Gibbon, has been charged with attempted murder after allegedly trying to drown his daughter-in-law in a Florida swimming pool. Mr. Gibbon, 62, was on holiday with his family at a Solterra resort in Davenport near Walt Disney World Resort when the disagreement over his grandchildren erupted, Polk County Sheriff Department said. Mr. Gibbon from Beaconsfield in Buckinghamshire is accused of pushing and holding the 33-year-old woman's head under the water multiple times, preventing her from breathing. He is charged with attempted second-degree murder and 2 counts of battery. Now a sad one from Africa. Authorities in Ghana say the country's ministers of defense and environment have died in a military helicopter crash in the central Ashanti region, along with 6 other people. Defense Minister Edward Omane Boama and Environment, Science and Technology Minister Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed, 50, were killed in the crash, which Chief of Staff Julius Debra described as a national tragedy. Earlier, the Ghana Armed Forces said the Z-9 helicopter, which was carrying 3 crew and 5 passengers, had gone off the radar. It had taken off from the capital, Accra, and was heading to the town of Obuasi for an event to tackle illegal mining. The authorities have not confirmed the cause of the crash. Back home, the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, has denied reports not by Aneke Television that he forced the chief executive officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, Bayo Ojulari, to resign. In a statement by EFCC spokesman Dele Oyewale, Olukoyede faulted a report by an online portal alleging that he allegedly abducted Ojulari and forced him to resign in Abuja. The EFCC boss demanded a retraction of the story from the online platform and a public apology within 48 hours. Though there have been reports about Ojulari's resignation, the NNPCL boss, the state-owned company and the presidency haven't commented on the development. In the meantime, the Court of Appeal in Lagos has restored the interim forfeiture order obtained by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) to seize 14 properties allegedly linked to the former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello. Justice Yagata Nimpa, who read the unanimous judgment which was delivered virtually, set aside a federal high court ruling that struck out the order and held that the lower court erred in law by relying on Section 308 of the 1999 Constitution. Justice Nimpa, in restoring the preservation order, held that immunity does not extend to property suspected to be proceeds of unlawful activity, and such assets can be investigated and preserved pending the outcome of a forfeiture application. The other justices of the panel who concurred with the decision are Justice Danlami Senchi and Justice Paul Bassi. They directed the EFCC to proceed to a final forfeiture hearing. Meanwhile, the Labour Party presidential candidate for 2023 general elections, Mr. Peter Obi, has tasked Nigerians to be committed to building political parties that are bigger than government and law-abiding. Mr. Obi stated this in his remarks at the public presentation of two books entitled The Bubbles of Nigeria's Democracy, The Musings of a Nigerian Journalist, and Wadata Wonders, Memoirs of a Partisan Journalist. The books were authored by veteran journalist Ike Aboyin. Mr. Obi, who, while urging Nigerians to remain committed to building that new Nigeria, advised citizens, especially journalists, with deep knowledge of Nigeria politics to write more for people to read and understand the nature of Nigeria political space. Now to some educational matters. The West African Examinations Council, WAEC, has promised to restore its results portal site in the next 24 hours. This follows the temporary shutdown of the site. Confirmed the development via a text message by the head of public affairs of the council, Moyoshola Adeshina, of the examination body. The result checker portal www.waecdirect.org was temporarily shut down due to technical issues. She said the council was working assiduously to ensure that candidates can assess their results in the next 24 hours. Mrs. Adeshina regretted any inconvenience that might have caused the public. In the meantime, strong reactions against the mass failure of candidates in this year's Senior Secondary School Certificate Examinations, SSCE, has continued, with parents and some groups calling for the cancellation of some of the papers, especially English language. This is even as the National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools, NAPS, in criticizing the conduct of the examination during nighttime hours, described it as unacceptable and detrimental to performance. Recall that only 38.32% passed English language and mathematics at the credit level. Both papers are key to securing university admission in the country. Commentators on the development, especially parents, blamed the mass failure on lapses on the part of the West African Examinations Council, WAEC, regarding the time the English language exam was written by the candidates. Governor Chukwuma Soludo of Anambra State has announced Professor Kate Omenuga as the substantive Vice Chancellor of Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University. Governor Soludo made the confirmation in an appointment letter delivered through Professor Solo Chukwu Lobelu, the Secretary to Anambra State Government at the Government House, Oka. Professor Omenuga, until her confirmation, has been in acting capacity since December 2023. The appointment marked the end of the selection exercise, which started with formal advertisement on January 2nd. Mr. Christian Aburime, Press Secretary to Soludo, who made this public, quoted the governor as wishing Omenuga a successful tenure and assured her of his administration support, while calling on the university community and stakeholders to accord her the needed support. To end the news around the globe, here are the main points. President Donald Trump of the United States of America has just enacted a new wave of tariffs on dozens of the country's trading partners, marking a substantial escalation in ongoing trade tensions that could constitute the biggest change to the global economy in nearly a century. The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, has denied reports, not by Aneke television, that he forced the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company (NNPC) Limited, Bayo Ojulari, to resign. The Labour Party presidential candidate for 2023 general elections, Mr. Peter Obi, has tasked Nigerians to be committed to building political parties that are bigger than government and law-abiding. We also told you that the West African Examinations Council (WAEC) has promised to restore its results portal site in the next 24 hours. That was the news. For breaking news and eyewitness reports, please call 0703 043 7110. Thanks for joining us. I am Aneke.
The red cap is a powerful symbol of authority, tradition, and chieftaincy. It signifies leadership, cultural identity, and a connection to the ancestors. The red cap is primarily worn by men who hold traditional titles such as Nze, Ozo, Ichie, Chief, Onyish. The number of eagle feathers on the cap can denote the wearer's status within the chieftaincy system. The red cap comes in different shapes, and each shape represents a particular hierarchy in the traditional institution in Igbo land.
There are two types of kola nut produced in Nigeria: kola nitida, otherwise called gworo, and widely eaten in northern part of Nigeria. Kola acuminata, also referred to as Igbo kola, is of local origin and occupies an important position in social, religious, and sacred ceremonies in Igbo society. It is seen as a vital and sacred fruit in Igbo land and serves as the major instrument of prayers connecting the ancestors. It cements discussions and also the fundamental bedrock of philosophy and proverbs. It is a symbol of welcome, unity, and peace. If kola nut contains one cotyledon, it is regarded as dump kola nut and thrown away. Kola nut with 4 cotyledons represents the 4 Igbo market days: Eke, Ori, Afo, and Nkwo. If kola nut contains more than 6 cotyledons, it signifies blessings and wealth, and it is celebrated. There is also another type of Igbo kola nut called Ojugo, which is referred to as the king of Igbo kola. The reproductive organ of the kola nut is referred to as the tongue, and it is removed after prayers and thrown to the spirit of the ancestors.
Ibai, ekele m ee ọjị wụ kwana ihe eji agọ ndụ ndụ a na-atọka onye anabara nke ya na ụlọ agwọ ibe anyị adị nọ ogologo ndụ arụ ike na ọdụmma ihe eji ene ndụ anya na onye nwere ihe eji ene ndụ anya na-elufụta nwụrụ ya ịmara na nsogbu rere ya olise bụ anyị na-ekene gị Chukwu okike onye ogologo ndụ na ogologo anya na-ahụ udo na ọchịchị anyị na-ekene gị na-ekene gị maka tata na-ayọ maka echi maka na ọsọ gị maka ebe echi anya mara na anyị adị ka echi na echi anaghị agwụ agwụgwụ na ihe ya adịrị anyị mma ndị be anyị onwekwara ihe ọzọ na anyị enye ndị ichie jupụtara anyị na-ere nke
Zenzile Miriam Makeba, nicknamed Mama Africa. She was a South African singer, songwriter, actress, and civil rights. Born March 4, 1932, in Johannesburg to Swazi and Xhosa parents, was associated with various musical genres such as Afro-pop, jazz, and music world. Makeba's career flourished in the United States, and she released several albums and songs, her most popular being Pata Pata 1967. Along with Belafonte, she received a Grammy Award for Best Folk Recording for their 1965 album, An Evening with Belafonte Makeba.
Makeba was among the first African musicians to receive worldwide recognition. Despite her cosmopolitan background, she was frequently viewed by Western audiences as an embodiment of Africa. She was also seen as a style icon in both South Africa and the West. On 9 November 2008, Makeba fell ill during a concert in Castle Volturno near Caserta. She suffered a heart attack after singing her hit song Pata Pata and was taken to the Pinter Grand Clinic where doctors were unable to revive her. She was 76.
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
Aneke Pascal Oyeka Care Foundation has continued its book donation program, distributing over 1,000 books to 2 schools in Enugu. The initiative aimed at supporting children from less privileged backgrounds was designed to encourage academic focus and instill hope for a brighter future. The latest beneficiaries of the program are Community Primary School, Ohona, Oboka, Nkanu East Local Government Area, and Station Primary School, Abani, in Nkanu West Local Government Area, which received no fewer than 1,000 exercise books. Led by Obinna Obu, Program Officer of the Foundation, the team was warmly received by the school's management, teachers, and pupils. Each pupil at Community Primary School, Ohona, Oboka, Nkanu East Local Government Area received 3 free exercise books. The atmosphere was filled with joy as grateful teachers offered heartfelt prayers and words of appreciation for the Foundation's benevolent act. Donating the exercise books on behalf of the Foundation, the program officer Obinna Obu explained that the gesture was to encourage the pupils to show more interest in education and to read their books. Obu said that the intervention became necessary to help them achieve their dreams.
There are many people who are willing to go to school, but because of lack of support, they have been discouraged to continue with their educations, largely due to their family background, lack of finance to continue with their studies. So this foundation discovered from onset that the only way to help man is to help introduce him to education. That's why we came up with this project, to see how we can reach out to these indigent pupils at the local areas to enable them to realize their dream in life through education.
Mrs. Jacinta Anene Wodo, who represented the head teacher at Ohona Community Primary School, Uboka, expressed joy at the gesture and thanked Aneke Pascal Oyeka Care Foundation for choosing their school for the donation.
I'm so excited for what happened today. Through this, I believe that our pupils will try and put more effort in their study.
In like manner, the head teacher, Station Primary School, Abani, Mr. Kinsley Animba, expressed joy for the donation and prayed that God replenished the donor.
I feel very glad, I feel very happy, I'm excited because what I saw here today, honestly I cannot say I'm not expecting it, but it just came sudden, but it's very, very good, so I'm impressed.
The head boy of Ohona Community Primary School, Uboka Olebube Ede, thanked Aneke Pascal Oyeka Care Foundation for the books and urged him to keep up, while that of Station Primary School, Abani, Chimbusom Mavera Oyenechi, said that she felt elated that new exercise books were given to them free and promised to study hard to justify the gifts.
I
feel very better that they should read their books and listen to the teachers. and improve in their educations.
The youth leader of Ohana, Uboka Ikenna, while expressing joy at the gesture, said that he was happy that the local school was remembered.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy.